Start our meeting this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to have a moment of silence for behavioral health and recovery service employee Carlos Rodriguez, and we're honored to have Carlos's family here today with us. Then we're going to go into our invocation with Christine Kaufman from Cross Point Community Church. So if you would please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father in heaven, Lord, I ask for your hand of blessing over this Board of Supervisors that stands before us. Lord, they are here representing their community. Lord, we know their desire is the betterment of this community, of this city, that it would be a place where we can love one another, encourage one another, and benefit one another as we grow. God, would you give them wisdom? Lord, would you help all of those in the room, the conversations, the decisions being made, be seasoned with grace? Would you help one another to hear with ears, to hear and hearts to understand? Lord, may your hand of blessing be over these men that stand before me, Lord, as they serve those they represent. May this community be a place of peace and a place of growth. And may we love and care for one another the way you have designed us to. Thank you for this time, and may you be honored and glorified. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, moving on to presentations. We have 3 presentations today. Our first one is recognizing Assyrian Heritage Month here in Stanislaus County. Dr. Elizabeth McKaylee Huber, President of the Assyrian National Council of Stanislaus, is here.
Honorable board members, my name is Elizabeth McKaylee Huber, and I'm the recently elected President of the Assyrian National Council of Stanislaus, the ANCS, also known as Mutwa Umtanaya Turaya. The ANCS serves as the umbrella organization representing the majority of Assyrian associations and churches in Stanislaus County. Beyond unifying our community, we work to preserve Assyrian culture, empower our youth, support Assyrian newcomers in the area, and build partnerships that strengthen our voice. Through education, cultural initiatives, and advocacy, we promote the well-being and future of the Assyrian people in the region. We Assyrians trace our roots back to our ancient namesakes, who were one of the world's greatest civilizations. The land of Mesopotamia, located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, today encompasses parts of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and Iran, unfortunately turbulent territory. From this cradle of civilization, we emerged as pioneers in military strategy, governance, and architecture. Our empire flourished under legendary rulers such as Tiglath-Pileser III, Sargon II, and Ashurbanipal. We built magnificent cities such as the biblical city of Nineveh and established one of the world's first and greatest libraries. Nevertheless, by 612 BC, our empire fell to the Babylonians and the Medes. Although our great empire fell, our people did not. Despite centuries of ethnic cleansing, forced displacement, persecution, wars, and multiple genocides, including the most recent atrocities committed by ISIS, we remain a distinct ethnic group. We speak modern Assyrian, also known as Neo-Aramaic, the language of Jesus Christ. The Assyrian community in Turlock began in 1895 and grew significantly in 1911 after Reverend Isaac Adams encouraged more Assyrians to join him in the area. These early immigrants established lasting institutions such as the Assyrian Evangelical Church in 1924, the Assyrian American Civic Club in 1946, and Mar Adai Parish in 1950. In the 70s and 80s, additional waves of Assyrians arrived, fleeing the Iran-Iraq War and its aftermath. Today, around 55,000 Assyrians call Stanislaus County home. Our impact is visible across many sectors, including agriculture, education, business, and local government. Over the decades, we have built churches, opened businesses, and passed down our traditions, celebrating milestones such as August 7th, Assyrian Martyrs' Day, and April 1st, Assyrian New Year. Our new year, beginning on March 21st and ending on April 1st, is called Chag Nisan, or Akitu. It is the oldest recorded festival in history. It celebrates and marks the arrival of spring, renewal, and unity, symbolizing our endurance and resilience. While many immigrant groups seek to assimilate, we have worked intentionally to preserve our language, culture, and faith, ensuring that future generations remain connected to our rich heritage. This is why we are deeply honored that April has been proclaimed Assyrian Heritage Month in Stanislaus County. This recognition is more than symbolic, for it affirms our history, our contributions, and strength of our community. Stanislaus County is a place we happily call home, a place that has safeguarded our unique culture, our Christian faith, and our proud identity. Even after thousands of years, the Assyrian spirit remains unbroken. So therefore, I wish you all a happy Assyrian New Year, year 6775. Thank you.
Doctor, it's an honor to have you here with us
Thank
here in
you.
Stanislaus County, and I'll just read the last portion of the proclamation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors hereby proclaims April 2025 as Assyrian Heritage Month in honor of the Assyrian community. In recognition of Assyrian New Year 6775, the board extends its best wishes with a joyful and prosperous new year.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
If you have others that want to
Yes.
come up for the pictures.
We do. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for being here.
Mr. Chair, if you'll indulge me for 1 minute, I just wanted to say I represent the Turlock area, which has a very large Assyrian population, probably one of the highest concentrations in the United States. I think there's maybe one other place. And you had said some pretty profound things. My dad was an immigrant, and he wanted to lose what it was he brought over from Italy. He didn't want his kids to learn Italian, and there's a lot of disappointing things about that. And you know, I'll when I get to heaven, I'll talk to him about that. But what I've absolutely loved about the culture of the Assyrian people is the tradition. You had talked about it. There is no more persecuted group of people that I've ever come across with the spirit that endures continually. And I love coming to the Assyrian festivals and everything you do in Turlock. Again, it just makes me, in some ways, I'm jealous that you've been able to continue the traditions, traditional dance, traditional language, and the education is so important within your culture about where you've come from and where you are today. So again, happy 6775. It's awesome, and I'm proud to represent the Turlock area.
Well said. Thank you, Doctor, for being here. All right, presentation number 2, update on the Stanislaus County Special Vehicle Operations Unit and county reservoirs. Sheriff Dirksey, Sergeant Randall Ginn, and Tara Chumley.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thanks for the opportunity to give an update here on SVOU. And SVOU does a few different things for us. They patrol the rivers, the reservoirs, and our various parks across the county. But today we're mostly going to focus on the reservoirs. We've previously done a presentation on the new river patrol. We'll touch on that briefly, but mostly we want to focus on the reservoirs. In 2024, last year, there were kind of two main trends that we saw unique to each of our two main reservoirs. At Woodward, we saw kind of an increase in unrest, riotous behavior, kind of some fairly dramatic events, and Sergeant Jen will talk about that. And then at Modesto Reservoir, the theme of the summer, unfortunately, was drownings, and we're going to talk about that as well. And then finally, we're going to end our presentation with Tara Chumley from Parks, and we just want to highlight the collaboration and partnership that we have with our Parks Department in keeping our reservoirs safe and serving the community. So with that, I'll turn it over to Randy Ginn, and we'll be back later. Randy?
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sergeant Randall Ginn with the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office. I'm currently a supervisor with SVOU. Prior to becoming a sergeant for the unit, I was assigned to SVOU as a deputy for 5 years. So you could quasi say that I'm an expert in this field. So looking at SVOU staffing, we have a lieutenant who's in charge. He's half-time, meaning he splits responsibilities with SVOU and the city of Waterford as the police chief. You have one full-time sergeant, which is me. You have four full-time deputies, splitting them up, assigning 2 to Modesto Reservoir and 2 to Woodward Reservoir, and then following that is 2 full-time river patrol deputies. Obviously, this does not include the additional staffing we require to safely and efficiently patrol the waterways in Stanislaus County. Here you have the map of the county. Listed here are the different county parks that we often patrol. So you have Woodward Reservoir, Modesto Reservoir, LaGrange OHV, and Frank Rains OHV. Although not listed on this map, we also do patrol the rivers within Stanislaus County. That would be the Tuolumne River, the Stanislaus River, and the San Joaquin River. Our unit is unique since we do split responsibilities between water patrol and OHV patrol based on the time of year and the seasons, but we are still responsible for patrolling and responding to calls for service within our respective areas. Something else this map represents is the distance it takes in case we do have to respond between parks for emergencies or critical incidents. For example, our deputies this last weekend responded from Woodward Reservoir for a rescue in Frank Rains OHV over the weekend. Here you can see our equipment. This picture just represents a small portion of our equipment. We currently have 4 boats, 6 jet skis, 3 side-by-sides, 2 ATVs, and 2 motorcycles. Each deputy is assigned a truck to help with patrolling the difficult terrain that they often encounter. As well as towing the large equipment around the county. Majority of our equipment has been purchased through the Department of Boating and Waterways Equipment Grant, as well as the OHV Equipment Grant. Although these tools can be viewed as toys, each vehicle serves a legitimate purpose and allows my team to effectively patrol both the waterways and OHV parks within the county. So next, moving on to River Patrol. As you know, our River Patrol deputies remain busy during the on and off season, actively cleaning up old derelict boats, trash, and other debris from the rivers. During the summer, on a busy weekend, our team interacts with a local rafting company at Knights Ferry. During the weekends, there can be anywhere from 50 to 100 rafts floating down the Stanislaus River on a given day. Typically holding 8 people per raft, these numbers increase on a holiday weekend. Although most of the people are here to have a good time, majority of the issues they deal with are unruly, alcohol-intoxicated people, which often leads to fights and other conflicts. Thankfully, the company has been a great partner with us to try to proactively mitigate these issues. Moving on to the reservoirs. So we'll start off with Modesto Reservoir. The attendance numbers seen here are an estimate amount based on the day use and camping entries. I would estimate the real number of people entering the parks is a lot higher based on the fact that we can't count every person who enters the park. The staffing numbers you see are an average of both normal summer weekends and holidays. These numbers do include the assigned SVU deputies at their respective reservoirs. Please note that these numbers reflected are deputies working through a 24-hour period, a patrol period, and not at one given time or a shift. The staffing does fluctuate based on weather trends and holidays. Some of these holidays not mentioned here is Father's Day, which typically draws a large crowd. Moving on to Woodward Reservoir, as you guys can see, you'll see the numbers almost double or triple. Looking at these numbers in comparison, as I mentioned, they're doubling or tripling over the course of several months. When looking at these numbers, even though they're broken down by month, recognize that a majority of these attending the parks are visiting on the weekends and not during the weekdays. For instance, instead of July's attendance being divided by 31 days for an average of a little bit over 3,400 people per day, respectively, it should be divided by the number of weekends, which equals approximately 26,000 people. Our overall goal is to educate the public through enforcement and community engagement. Listed here are our challenges that we have to deal with. So as you guys can see in the PowerPoint, a lot of it is alcohol related or can be caused by alcohol related. So you have public intoxication, DUI, BUIs, which is boating under the influence, fights, California vehicle code violations, so parking enforcement typically, riotous behavior, disobeying lawful orders or resisting arrest, which also then, with the alcohol-related stuff, may relate to accidents, water rescues, and drownings. One major challenge which is not listed is the majority of our patrons reside outside of Stanislaus County. It can be argued that they're used to a different style of policing and expect us to be more lenient or more in terms of being a pushover. Of course, not every interaction is like that, but we face a lot of hostility when taking enforcement action, which makes our job very difficult. An example that I'll use, last year our deputies were attempting to conduct parking enforcement when people unrelated to the enforcement stop decided to intervene. This resulted in the use of force, and our deputies were quickly surrounded by over 100 people. The crowd displayed a lack of respect and hostility towards law enforcement. In fear that our deputies or anyone else from the public would be seriously injured, multiple law enforcement, fire, and medical personnel were requested. Approximately 25 deputies and officers from multiple agencies responded. This included the California Highway Patrol, Oakdale PD, Modesto PD, and deputies throughout the county, which includes our main office, Riverbank, and Waterford. This resulted in 6 arrests for various charges. The reservoirs are commonly filled with family fun, but events like this are reminders we need to be prepared for any critical incident as they become more frequent and violent. So moving over to some of the statistics. These statistics included both Modesto and Woodward Reservoir. I would confidently say Woodward accounts for 70% of these stats. Last year was the most productive year we ever had for citations, stops, and arrests. And as you can see through the numbers, I won't go through all of them, but some things to highlight are the vessel stops just short of 1,500, vessel citations 335, traffic stops, same number, 335, traffic citations, and most importantly, our calls for service, I would say just over 2,400, right, and 63 arrests. A little bit more on the stats. So you look in here, we have 29 vessel accidents, which in my time with SVOUs, a very large amount. Looking at vessel inspections, conducting over 1,500. People we've assisted, 737, and vessels assisted, 179. Our team is consistently assisting the public with vessel assists. This example in the picture was a truck and trailer drove into the water at Woodward Reservoir. And moving on to drownings. So drownings in 2024, as you guys can see in the number, and as the sheriff mentioned, Modesto Reservoir was an anomaly, having 6. Woodward Reservoir having 2, the Stanislaus River 1, and the San Joaquin River having 1. Unfortunately, last year was unlike any other, and this was a record-breaking year for drownings within our waterways. These stats reflected or drownings recorded in our patrolled waterways and not canals or swimming pools. Since the increase in drownings, SVOU has focused patrols on life jacket awareness and have given out hundreds of life jackets to kids and adults. We continue to partner with stakeholders within the community to take a proactive approach for water safety by creating PSA videos and holding community events to try to solve this problem. To give an example of what our team deals with, please take a look at the following video.
What's the location of the emergency? With the transmitter in the Modesto Reservoir, they have somebody in the water, they said.
Okay, how many people are drowning in the water?
There's only like one drowning or two.
One or two? Okay. So the male, does he have a life vest on?
No.
Move back. I'm coming, Carl.
Hello, someone's drowning at the Waterford, park?
Okay, are you at the Modesto Reservoir?
Yes.
Okay, do you know what point you're at right now?
Sandy Beach?
Okay, we have everybody on the way right now, okay? Just stay on the line with me, all right?
Okay, what does he look like? He's Hispanic. He's wearing like a beige shirt. Beige shirt? Is it white or beige? Yeah, beige. The police is here.
I got it? Yeah, I got his arm. We're good, grab his arm. Scott, you want to switch real quick? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And that video is just a quick snippet of some of the things that we have to deal with, obviously unfortunately on a regular basis. I just want to give a quick shout out to my team. I appreciate the hard work that they do to overcome these challenges. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Tara.
Good morning. I'm Tara Chemley, Director of Parks and Recreation. The partnership between Parks and Recreation and the Sheriff's Office is an example of our shared commitment to the county values, particularly our dedication to being good partners. By working hand in hand, we create an environment where visitors can enjoy safe, fun, and affordable outdoor experiences. The presence of the sheriff's staff at Woodward Reservoir, particularly during our high-traffic summer months, has been crucial in maintaining a secure environment for both visitors and county staff. We have a contractual obligation with the irrigation districts to protect our water quality at the reservoirs. And 2 summers ago, there was a confrontation at Woodward Reservoir. A Parks employee approached a group to request that they move their vehicle away from the water line. In turn, they ran towards the employee, yelling and threatening him. Thinking quickly, he immediately ran to his truck and exited a potentially dangerous situation. A sheriff's deputy responded, who in turn called on several reinforcements to assist with addressing the riotous event. Ensuring the safety of our waterways and park environment is essential to the success of our park operations and the well-being of our community. This collaboration enhances public safety, fosters a sense of security, and helps prevent potential incidents, allowing families and individuals to make lasting memories in a safe setting. What you're seeing on the slide is a mock-up of a new pamphlet that we're creating, and this will be distributed to each visitor entering our reservoirs this summer. In partnership with the sheriff's staff, we remind our visitors to play by the rules with a code of conduct to help our visitors remember what our park rules are. And it allows staff the authority to remove visitors who do not wish to comply with the safe environment we aim to provide. There's also a QR code that provides our visitors with all of our park rules. Additionally, we highlight our free life jacket loaner program and encourage visitors to float today and live tomorrow by wearing a life jacket. The QR code above will take them to a map of the reservoir showing the locations of our life jacket loaner stations, and we're adding additional loaner stations at both reservoirs this year. The collaboration between Parks and Sheriff ensures that our community thrives, promoting enjoyment, recreation, and the overall safety of those who visit and work at our parks. Thank you.
Is there any questions?
Thank you, Sergeant Jim. If I remember, most of the folks were, I know they were a little younger than me, but they were 40 to 50 years old. Is my memory serving me right, that drowned?
Sorry, what was that age range again?
40 to 50?
I would say it vastly ranged, because there were some, I would say, somewhere probably between their 20s to 50s, I would say.
Okay. Do you see better compliance with the younger children, like wearing life jackets? Has that been because I know we've tried to target through parks the life jacket program, but adults should know better. Kids have to be told, they maybe don't know better, but do you see parents protecting their kids more often than?
Yeah, I would say more often than not, it would be parents protecting their kids over adults protecting themselves.
Yeah. And do you have any ideas on how we can do better on the loaner program from your perspective?
It's a tough question, it's a tough issue to address, right? Because we're constantly having to adapt our tactics or our approach to it. And that's why having the stakeholders within the community to come together to try and foster ideas for that, because I think if there was one solution, we haven't found it yet. So,
yeah. Appreciate you and your team. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys. Good presentation, Randy and Jeff. Thank you, and Tara. You'd think it'd be out there just a great time for everybody to have. Looks fun. You're out on the boats and everything like that. It seems like it's, but I'm sure it's not like that, as you said, especially when you get alcohol involved. So it's a tough job you guys are doing, and we all appreciate you being out there. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Appreciate that.
Sergeant, we had more drownings at Modesto Reservoir than Woodward, although Woodward had a population at the park much higher. Is there anything that can be taken from that?
It's hard to say. I think my personal opinion, when it comes to Woodward tends to, when Woodward's off-season comes, they drain the water, not completely, but to a very low level. So a lot of the foliage or like the weeds tend to die off. I think with Modesto, what we tend to see is, since the water doesn't essentially drain, those weeds just continue to grow. I'm not saying that it's a factor or a potential factor to it, but I think what I've seen is people tend to freak out when they feel that foliage or that weed wrap around them, and they essentially think it's like something grabbing them. Not saying that's a contributing factor, but it's something that's significantly different between the two reservoirs.
And Chairman, if I may, Modesto Reservoir has islands out there that can be very deceiving, where individuals feel that they can swim out there and swim back, and it's further than what they believe it may be.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the presentation, a lot of great information, and I just want to commend the team for all the work that they do. I used to get a lot of constituent complaints, especially on the Stanislaus River, that has dropped to almost zero. And that's because the department is out there on patrol, visual, and they're out there handling those issues. And I appreciate that very much. Also, the abandoned boats seem to be being taken care of. Sometimes it looks like that they had been there for a long time, but now, as soon as they're dropped, the team is jumping on it. So I really appreciate that. And they clean up at the rivers, outstanding. I just appreciate the hard work the team's doing.
If I may add one thing, it's a little bit what Tara just said and what Randy talked about, and we did a video to this effect last year, but most people cannot swim as far as they think they can swim. Even if they're in good shape and they are, a trained swimmer, like Tara said, those islands that are out there, it's very difficult to judge distance across water. You think, oh, that's, 25 yards out there. It's actually 100 yards. Most people cannot swim that. And so I think it's important to reiterate here publicly once again, wear a life jacket, because even if you're in good shape and know how to swim, you probably can't swim that far. So.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the presentation. All right, next up is Opportunity Stanislaus update on strategic initiatives. David White, Opportunity Stanislaus.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Bose. It's a great honor to be here today and to report on our activities for fiscal year 23 and 24. And the first thing I'd like to do is recognize and introduce members of my team. Thank you. And I have several key members of the team here, and I'll just ask them to wave, and as I mentioned their name, have Amber Edwards, who's our Vice President of Talent Development. Katie Winters is our Chief Financial Officer. We have Monica Flynn, who's our Economic Development Manager, Herman Zavalza, who's the Director of the Valley Sierra Small Business Development Center, and then our recently new hire, Eric Neuenfeld, who's Executive Director of Volt Institute. So they're here to provide support and be part of this presentation. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the board and thank the county for our partnership and support of our organization and the work that we do. We really couldn't do it without you, and I really, truly mean that. It's been a great partnership, and I'm now in my 11th or 12th year of being in this organization, and my wife and I love it here, and we couldn't think of anywhere else we would rather be. So first, what I'm going to cover in this presentation, we're going to talk about our economic development activities. We're going to talk about talent development, Volt Institute, which is our advanced manufacturing training center located here in Modesto. We'll talk about the Small Business Development Centers of the Valley Sierra SBDC, support for county unincorporated areas, and then also support for the county initiatives Beam Circular and Stanislaus 2030. Starting off with economic development, so that's our primary function, is to increase economic vitality in our county. And we do that in multiple ways. First and foremost, what's really important is to take care of the companies that are already here. And so we spend a lot of our efforts supporting local business. There's an old adage that 80% of all the jobs that are created are local companies doing well. And so we take that to heart, and we really work hard to support local industry. And you'll see that we spend a lot of time visiting with them, helping troubleshoot issues that they're having, and help them with some of their important needs. This last year, we helped out, supported 3 important projects. This is 23-24. Divert, which is a biocircular company that located in Turlock. And then Amazon, their new distribution center, fulfillment center in Turlock. And then Article.com out in Patterson. All of those 3 companies together announced 3,040 jobs to the local economy. The investment is $136 million. Estimated annual payroll, those 3 companies together, is $145 million. So these projects are significant. And also, the number of local industry visits that we produced in that year was 725, which also includes the visits made by SBDC and the role they play. We've had a very potential, we played a pivotal role back then, a year ago, in orchestrating the development of the SEDS document as part of the Economic Development Action Committee and Economic Development Strategy. That now has gone into a different direction, that's perfectly fine. It's more of a regional approach, which I think is a great movement forward. It's talent development. We have a talent development department, and the purpose of that department is to help companies navigate the challenges with workforce recruitment and retention. And that's a big challenge today, especially coming out of the pandemic. And we do a number of programs to support local companies and what they need in terms of workforce. We had 6 trainings, 2 job fairs that the county was involved with specifically. And we had the Supervisor Development Academy, which is a very popular program that helps frontline supervisors, people who have never been a supervisor before. In partnership with AgSafe, we've done over 20 of these cohorts over the years, and now more than 200 people have been trained to be frontline supervisors. And the Senior Leadership Series is a program that we do with Christy Marcella, former Gallo VP, and this program helps train leaders to affect better strategy and culture within their organizations. And we've had about 15 of those cohorts over the years, or excuse me, 8 cohorts over the years, and we've trained about 120 or so people. We hold job fairs. We've had a very successful job fair in Oakdale that we've done. We are planning other job fairs around the county, utilizing our connection with industry. And then also, I just wanted to report, we had 4 county employees who attend training or networking events last year. Volt has been a game changer for not only our organization, but for the entire county. The Volt Institute started in 2017. Since then, we've graduated over 400 people in different programs at Volt. We have the training center, the location right there in the former Modesto B building. It's a partnership between us and the Stanislaus County Office of Education. And last, in the 2023-2024 year, we had 76 students that were enrolled. That's now well over 100 this current year, and so it's growing. And the Volt on the Go program, which we started last year, which is mobile training that we take out to the community, to both companies and community partners, to help provide training to people with barriers, the underserved community. Last year we started it, we had 40 completions. This year we've had over 200 completions. So that has been a real game changer, where we've partnered with several agencies and companies to bring the training to them. And with some just amazing stories of what we've been able to do. And last year we calculated that the revenue as a result of our work at Volt and Volt on the Go was $1.5 million, and we've seen a significant increase in that this year. The Valley Sierra Small Business Development Center, under the direction of Herman Zavalza, we do a lot in terms of supporting small business as they open their businesses, as they look to grow. We were involved in 52 new startups in that year, 23-24, and served over 700 small business owners during that year. And we served 31 businesses in the county unincorporated area. And you can see the new revenue to the county, almost $7 million, and number of new jobs created, 178. And so the Small Business Development Center is really a great, it's just a great program and a great economic development tool that we have in our county. Support for the county unincorporated area. So this last year, we really strived hard to reach out to the unincorporated areas in the county, and so we made presentations about Volt on the Go at several community locations in Keys, Denair, Crows Landing, Salida. And our intent moving forward is to work with those school districts and other partners in those county unincorporated areas to bring Volt on the Go to them and provide training to people who live in those areas. And we're also looking at continuing to make visits to companies in the county unincorporated area In 23-24, we made 100 visits to companies in different locations, like the Beard Industrial District and Salida and other places around the county. So we have an intentional effort to reach out to them. Support for Beam Circular and Stanislaus 2030. Many of us on our team serve on various committees with Beam and also with Stanislaus 2030. We work side by side with those groups. We were asked to be the incubator to incubate Beam and help support their development. We did that during the course of 2023-2024. They actually were in our office. We provided administrative support, financial support, and they came to our board meetings. They reported back. So we have a wonderful relationship with Beam Circular, and we're working on a very active campaign with them to attract biocircular type companies to the county. Same is true for Stanislaus 2030. Many of us serve on different committees helping that work move forward and support Amanda Hughes in what she's doing. So we're very proud of that and look forward to continued collaboration with Beam Circular and Stanislaus 2030. Other specific support to the county. I sit on the EDAC committee for the county, and I also helped out with the bylaws review committee. It was a pleasure and honor to do that. And I also sit on the board of the Crows Landing Industrial Business Park EFID board. I have the opportunity to serve, and this is really a tribute to our county and the economic development that is happening here. I serve on the CalEd board, which is the state organization for economic development, the California Association for Local Economic Development. And right now I'm serving as the chair-elect, which means next year I'll be chairing that board for 2 years. So I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll be able to maybe get some CalEd events here in Stanislaus County as a result. And then also our economic development manager, Monica Flynn, who's sitting here, she is on the board of the California Central Valley Economic Development Corporation, which is a group that markets the Central Valley and helps to generate leads for companies coming here. I put this slide up here. I just wanted to call out, because we're out there talking to companies all the time, and we get a feel for them, what keeps them up at night. There are some things we can't control. We can't control what happens in Sacramento so well. But there are things locally that I wanted to point out, what things we're doing well. And I would say even on the weaknesses, we are addressing those, which is great. I think everybody recognizes that we need more housing and we need more shovel-ready land for industrial development. And so there are processes in place to mitigate that. Strengths, very pro-business. I tell my peers all the time in economic development around the state that it is so much easier in this county and these cities to get things done because we have a board of supervisors who are very pro-business. And so I want to tip my hat to you for that. That's not true all around the state, by the way, but it is true in Stanislaus County. It's very easy to connect. When we bring companies in, they get involved. We worked with a company called MGA Research. They came in from Michigan. They took over the former Dairy Farmers of America facility in Houston. They're doing real James Bond type stuff there with testing and working with the auto industry and other industries. And they're totally engaged. They're involved now. They're part of the chamber. They're part of our organization. And their CEO has told me several times how easy it is to get connected here. Just the support for local industry. I think local industry, at least when I talk to CEOs around the county, they're very appreciative of how the county responds. And I really wanted to tip my hat to you for that. Lower costs than most of California, which is really a great bonus it's a great selling point that we use when we talk to companies. And you look at the price of utilities, the price of labor, the price of land. It's really a good location for companies. We have good collaboration. We're working together as a team. That's seen by others from the outside. And then, of course, our proximity to the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. Can't have to recognize that. The weaknesses, we need shovel-ready land. That's the one thing. I wish we had more projects, more parks. It takes a long time to get those done, but the good thing is we are addressing that, so that's good. Lack of housing, we need more affordable housing for young workers so that they can have the American dream and they can buy a house and they can stay here and work here. And then infrastructure improvements, new roads, existing roads, taking care of the infrastructure we have, but also new roads. But we are addressing that as well. And so as we continue to add new roads like the North County Corridor, the extension of 132 and other projects like that, it'll really help open up economic development in our county. So with that, I'd like to entertain any questions.
No question. Or go ahead, Terry. Sorry, didn't see you.
David, thank you very much. Great presentation, and you guys are doing good work. Just real quick on the, you talked about the Volt on the Go, and that you guys are out there in the community. So you said you went out to 4 county unincorporated areas. So I just wondered, where are you going there? Are you going to the schools? Do you go to the MACs? Or how do you get out there and get the presentation? Because I think getting the word out is the key for Volt especially, and the opportunities there. So anyway, that was just, where do you go when you go out there into the unincorporated areas?
We presented at the MACs, and we also are working with the schools. So right now, for example, we have a really good partnership with Keys School District, and we have some programs in the works with them at the junior high and high school level, and so that's good. And we're also working with the other school districts in the area. And we have a great relationship with the adult schools especially, but that's now feeding into the school districts themselves. And so we're excited about offering Volt on the go type training even to the school districts, because a lot of them don't have the equipment themselves. They can't teach this in their schools. Some do, like Sirius. Sirius, they almost have as much as we do. They're just really well equipped, but a lot of them don't. And so what's good about Volt on the Go is we can take it to them. We can take the instructors to them. All they have to do is provide a classroom, and then we can provide the training. And it's really and then on the community side, we're partnering with groups like Legacy Alliance, the West Modesto Community Collaborative, the Modesto Gospel Mission, the adult schools I already mentioned. We were in Riverbank. We did a training with Jenny Boyer, her group Sierra House, which was great, and City of Oakdale. So we're getting out, and we're finding that it's breaking down barriers. We don't have the transportation getting to Modesto. That's a barrier. The ability to teach in Spanish, which we now have. We have instructors who not only can teach in Spanish, but they know the technical terms. And so we've been able to do that. So it's just been a great blessing to be able to take our training out on the road.
Perfect. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David. Team, David, thank you guys for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great presentation.
Take care.
Okay, it's time to move on to public comment. Public comment is a time for those in attendance to speak on items not already on today's agenda. Please state your name for the record, direct all comments towards the dais, and so it is fair for every speaker, keep comments to the 5-minute time limit. And first up is our Director of Environmental Resources, Rob Costley.
Good morning, Chairman Condit, members of the board, CEO Hayes, Council Bose. I'd like to take a moment this morning to shine a spotlight on an outstanding achievement by our hazmat division, one that brings great pride to Stanislaus County. Last week at the California Unified Program Agency, or the CUPA conference, held in Los Angeles, Stanislaus County was honored with the California Environmental Protection Agency, or CalEPA's, Secretary Award for Environmental Achievement. This is one of the most prestigious recognitions in the field of environmental protection and public health. To put this into perspective, there are 102 CUPA programs operating across the state of California. These programs are managed by a wide variety of agencies, including environmental health departments, air districts, fire departments, and that would be county and city fire departments, state agencies, and hazmat divisions. For Stanislaus County to be selected from among such a large and highly qualified pool of agencies speaks volumes about the excellence of our team. This award is a testament to the dedication, professionalism, and tireless commitment of our CUPA staff. Their work plays a vital role in safeguarding public health, protecting our environment, and fostering strong collaborative partnerships with our regulated community. With me today is Alvin Law, our hazmat manager, and he would like to say a few words too.
Thank you, Rob. Supervisor Condit, Chairman Condit, members of the board, CEO Jody Hayes, and Council Bose. Rob, thank you on behalf of the hazmat team. We appreciate your leadership, your guidance, and giving us this platform to recognize the highest and the most prestige award given by the state, Cali, PA, and especially by the Secretary of the Unified Program. And the Secretary is nominated by Governor of California. To be at this award, it was a privilege to take and accept the award on behalf of the team and Stanislaus County, especially for environmental resources. Rob, you have given us the opportunity and the concept of turning the ship around. So as you know, members of the board, Rob has lots of philosophies, right, leadership philosophies. And about 2 years ago, he had a conversation with me and introduced the concept of turning the ship around, a book by David Markey, who was a Navy ship commander and turned the ship around and gave the empowerment from the ground up and gave the power, the leadership, and in turn leadership base to the sailors. And that's what he did to the hazmat team. And it is proud and honor to recognize your leadership, your guidance, and achieving this award today at this month at the Cali, PA, and the Cooper Conference is a testament of your leadership. So on behalf of the hazmat team, we thank you, Rob. This team has worked hard for the last 2 years and many years, and to receive this award from Cali, PA, the hazmat team, also known as the Humble Hazmat, is very, very proud. We strive each day and work hard to uphold the vision and the mission of the county and the Department of Environmental Resources. We provide effective and efficient delivery of public services. At the end of the day, we build community. So we thank the board for giving us the opportunity. Rob, we thank you for giving us the leadership and the empowerment. And that's all.
Yeah, Rob, could you introduce the team?
Absolutely.
I have them just come on up because we're going to come down and take a picture with the team.
That's awesome.
Just a few of them.
All right, so as you know, manager for hazmat, Alvin Law. I'm not one of the chipmunks, just for the records. So starting on my right is our senior hazmat specialist, Yama Nurzai. We have our hazmat specialist too, Nino Shamoun. We have Sarah Yakub, a senior hazmat specialist. We have Max Wagner, a hazmat specialist. A fun fact for Max, about 2 years ago, Max was a rookie inspector, and he was chosen to speak at the Cooper Conference and give a class on the top 10 violations. And he did great. So that was a rookie going and achieving the Rookie of the Year award at the Cooper Conference. Then we have Ray, who works very hard day to day at Resham Shandu. He's a hazmat specialist too, works in collaboration with the parks and does their water sampling and groundwater wells and monitoring wells. And to his right is Laurel Souza, newly married a few months ago. A lot of pressure on me, Rob. A hazmat specialist, and she's done great in the last 3 years that she's been on the hazmat team. And then to her right is Stephanie Frere. She's been here for about 5 years, and she's our HHW and Monitoring Well Senior Hazmat Specialist. All right, I hope I don't get in. Our newest member to the hazmat team is Joe Ramirez. He's still a rookie right now, and he is a Cooper inspector and also an HHW inspector specialist as well. And then to his right is the longest hazmat specialist, and you all know the one and only Mr. Ali Ershad. He doesn't need any introduction. I think everyone in the county knows him, his leadership and his innovation to the community. And to his right is Dominic Zalaza. He's also a hazmat specialist. And in front of me is the well-renowned director, Mr. Rob Koslevy.
Awesome job. Thank you. We're all going to come down and take a picture with you. Great job.
I want you guys to know that Polly has a key to my house. That's how much time he's been.
Are you won the Super Bowl and you're rookie year? That's a great job.
We're not the main force. We're not seeing. We want you guys to be seen. Good job.
Yeah, we're interlock inspectors, so we're out there all the time.
All right, next up is Tara Chumley, Director of Parks and Recreation.
That was great. They like that they won the Academy Award. Is what they kinda
Super
did.
Bowl.
Yeah, Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Okay.
That was pretty awesome. I got something fun and exciting to share with all of you. Good morning, I'm Tara Chumley, the Director of Parks and Recreation, and we have our annual egg hunt occurring at Modesto Reservoir this month, April 12th on Saturday, praying for good weather because you know how those spring showers are. And our event starts at 10:30 a.m. We have crafts, face painting, train rides, meet and greet with the Parks Bunny. At 11, we have our toddler egg hunt, and that covers our ages 1 to 2 and any special needs egg hunt. At 11:30, we have our kiddie egg hunt for ages 3 to 5. At 12, we have our junior egg hunt, ages 6 to 8, and at 12:30, we have our big kid egg hunt, ages 9-11. Sorry, Chairman, we do not have an egg hunt for you this year. We have a lot of vendors and exhibitors. We're giving away bikes and gift baskets. It's always a wonderful family event, and we hope to see everybody there. Thank you.
Tara, what time did you say that started? 10?
10:30.
10:30.
I recommend you get there in plenty of time for the egg hunt you want to participate in. There gets to be a line, and we want to make sure everybody gets their wristbands and gets to the appropriate place and time.
All right, thank you for that info.
Thank you.
Going along with the same pattern, Director of Public Works, David Lehman. Looks like Stanislaus County is winning awards everywhere.
This one's the best.
Oh, look at that.
Yes, this is literally a cow patty with plastic flowers embedded in it. We are the recipient this year. I am. Good morning, Board. Dave Lehman, Stanislaus County Public Works Director. This is, in fact, an award that you've seen before. If you were here in 2015, Machado won this for the swales in Park Lawn, if you remember that. The very first one was given away to Irv Mohar in LA County for planting plastic plants and plastic palm trees on Sepulveda Boulevard. And the community came on cork, and he said, we learned something. People don't like plastic flowers. So Irv won it, I won it. It's awarded every year for the most inexplicable and incomprehensible contribution to county engineering. And I blew the skit at the Claude's Barbecue, so I was graciously awarded this cow patty under plexiglass. And so, thank you.
Nice work.
Thanks for the compliment.
Thanks for sharing that.
If you ever have the chance to attend the Engineers Association, Dave, you're serving as chair now, right?
Yeah, President.
Yeah, it's a unique group of people.
Very, very
Fun,
unique.
Fun.
It's obvious, yeah.
They're fun.
All right, next up is Nancy Robertson, Modesto Garden Club.
Good morning, Chairman Condon and members of the board. It's good to be here this morning. You've had a busy morning already this morning. My name is Nancy Robinson. I'm president of the Modesto Garden Club. I'm here this morning to let you know about our upcoming annual Spring Garden Tour. Our Spring Garden Tour will be held on Saturday, April 12th, from 10 until 4. This year, we feature 4 lovely, unique homes in our own Modesto Garden Club office. Tickets are $25 and may be purchased at a number of local merchants as well as our Garden Club office and our website. Attendees may also purchase tickets for over 60 fabulous Raffinity prizes at our own Garden Club office, where we will also serve some special refreshments. Some of the Raffinity and food items are donated by local businesses, and we appreciate their support. This is our largest fundraiser for the year, and it allows us to provide $9,000 in scholarships for students who are studying horticulture, agriculture, and other related fields. We would appreciate the support from the community for all of our efforts. As the largest garden club in California and possibly in the United States, with almost 400 members, we have many philanthropic projects. We are in 19 elementary schools teaching children how to grow their own food, make healthy food choices, and hands-on practical learning. We do therapeutic gardening in senior living facilities. We also maintain multiple gardens around town, like the Eileen Gallo Memorial Clock, which is in the process of being planted, the 150 downtown pots, which will be replanted on Saturday, April 26th, the Senior Citizen Center, the Centennial Garden and Memorial Rose Garden on West Orangeburg, the K Street Parklet, and the George Lucas Plaza. On Saturday, May 3rd, we are having a vendor and plant sale. This is an endeavor that is new to our club and is free to the public. We will have approximately 20 vendors as well as food available and plants for sale grown by our members. It will be at Modesto Covenant Church on Floyd Avenue from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and see all of the goodies we will be offering. Another upcoming event is our summer luncheon table viewing on Wednesday, June 11th at Del Rio Country Club from 1 until 7. As always, the 30 tables are each set with creative and fabulous table settings by various individuals. Tickets are only $10, and we will also have a Raffinity at this event. Tickets for both portions of the event are available at the door. So remember, we will be looking forward to seeing you and the community support for our Spring Garden Tour, April 12th, from 10 until 4. Thank you for your attention this morning.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up is Brian Evett.
Good morning, Supervisors. Kenneth Bryan Evett, Terry's District. Anyway, I'm here on our constitutional rights, our Second and our 14th Amendment, and the protection of that. Now, my property has been broken in down here quite a few times and stuff is stolen. I've had, like you've seen, neighborhood wars. Well, I have a bad neighbor down here, even though I don't live here. Anyway, I had my rights taken away, and this is an antique gun that stays in Copperopolis, hanging on the wall. But apparently, you guys wanted it, or our county wanted it from me, because of hearsay. So I had to go up and get it. And now I haven't been able to get it returned. And also my father, who was a sheriff in this department, he's died, and now they have his gun. And I've been trying to retrieve these guns through the sheriff's department, and I keep getting turned down. I've made 2 appointments with your sheriff, and he's turned them down both. I've tried to talk to him in here. I just want what's rightfully mine put back to where it was and stop the thievery on my property. I lost memorabilia from years, raiders and everything that's just memorabilia stolen out of my warehouse here on Dakota and Beckwith. And then I try to look up to see if there's crimes in that area, and the statistics say there's no crimes, but all my neighbors have been ripped off. Now, how do we even have, which is called a castle law, how do we protect this? It starts with us, protecting us. We can't turn around and take everything away from people and say, that's okay, the poor can steal, they can run wild, nothing we can do, turn it over to the insurance companies, which the insurance companies don't pay off anyway, as we can see what's happened in LA. Even your house gets burned down, they're not paying. State Farm's one of the worst ones, and I've dealt with them since Charlie Brown, forever. Now I'm just trying to turn around and get this gun back in there so it'll be my decoration in my house up at the lake where it's been staying for 30 years. This is a 1960 long rifle 22. It's worth about $1,300. Now, the other one is a 380. It's worth $2,300. Now, I've almost lost $4,000, which is memorabilia to me. I don't really care. You guys have memorabilia. You wouldn't want it lost because it reminds me of things. I already lost my dad's badge. He's died. Keep it in there because I have a respect for Stanislaus County. I was raised right here under the laws, under your first class. I followed my father and the other sheriffs going through there. I followed them. And I believe in this, that we can keep this together. But we have to have people that work with us, which is our sheriff's department. We're not criminals. The ones that get stuff stolen from them aren't the criminals, it's the ones that are stealing it. And I'm getting tired of people turning around and breaking in. I've had people break into my house, change the locks. I come down here and then find out I gotta put a unlawful detainer to get him out because I'm the one that's threatened if I open the door that I'll be arrested. Just a while back, I was helping an old lady and I was her power of attorney. Next thing they break in, and the next thing that they don't want to arrest them, but SOPD doesn't want to arrest them. They take away my rights there. But yet they'll let that same burglar sit there and say, well, he wants to kill me, and they'll automatically take me on a felony. Charge me $64,000. For what? I didn't threaten the man, threatened to arrest him. That's my civic duty when I see somebody breaking it. It was the Modesto Police Department's duty to arrest that man when they were there. Why would they release a man that broke into the house? Because he says he's an honest man. He'll bring the stuff back. Do you think the stuff came back? No. The next morning they turn around, I went to see, they arrested me. 4 days later when they let me out of jail, the house was totally ripped off. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with our society here today? What is really going on? Now, I'm still fighting a year and a half later just to get it through court. But this has no right to keep my weapons. I've never committed any felonies. I've only built in this town since Rule and Dale. I worked for them in the very beginning. I built the malls, Macy's. All I've done is build stuff, which creates revenue for you guys, which is called tax revenue. I'm even getting taxed on my own labor that I have never even been paid for because You guys put an assessment on it. I don't know how you assess my labor when I haven't been paid, but I'm paying taxes on it, and I'm not complaining. So at least let me keep my memorabilia and have the sheriff's department release it so I can get my guns back. Otherwise, how can I even protect myself under which is a,
Brian, go ahead and finish up.
which I have a right to, I have a right to protect my property. I don't need the guns. This is just decoration. But I have a right to be able to turn people in that break the law, and the law should do that, not turn it around on me.
Thanks.
I mean, I'm
Thanks,
out
Brian.
thousands and thousands of dollars for no reason.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, but let's do something about it, because all of us don't want this.
Brian.
We all don't want this.
All right, next up is Brent Dittman. Sorry about that.
Good morning, Honorable Board of Supervisors. I represent 100 probation officers in the Stanislaus County Deputy Probation Officers Association. I come here not asking for anything, as in fact, I would like to invite each and every one of you on a ride along with us, just to join our professional group of men and women with the Stanislaus County Probation Department. One of our values as the department is transparency, and we would love to extend that invitation to each and every one of you. And I appreciate your time, but feel free. I just want to put myself out there for my members and invite each and every one of you. Like I said, appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you leave your number?
Brent,
can you leave your number? Yeah.
Thank you. Next up is Mateo Ortiz. Mateo? We'll put him off the side. Maybe he's outside. Next up is Elizabeth Cravello. Elizabeth Cravello. Devon Brizino. Am I pronouncing that right? You can correct me when you come up there.
Hello and good morning, Board. Hope all you guys are doing well. My name is Devon Brasino. I've been an IHSS provider here in Modesto since roughly June, July-ish for a family friend that has physical and medical disabilities. I've also been a provider for my son for the past 3 years. He has developmental delays. I've also been pretty much an overall care provider in Modesto for the past 5 years when I turned 18. One of the things I wanted to speak on is how IHSS providers have been putting in the work for the community, and we deserve to be heard along with our recipients. We keep the vulnerable safe and comfortable in their own homes. We're there for their scariest and most vulnerable moments, answering questions or helping understand their care to promote a better quality of life for them. To helping around their homes and activities they can no longer complete due to various factors, whether it be age or disabilities. We're there no matter what situation our recipients face. Respectfully, we know what's in the budget for our county, and we won't settle for just pennies. We save the county money and provide better care than any institutions around Stanislaus County. I've seen it firsthand. Too many times we've heard about these institutions prioritizing profits over care, and the reviews of family members and recipients of this care speak for itself. But this isn't the case with IHSS. Providers go above and beyond for our recipients more than that of any other institution. Housing costs have almost tripled in the recent decade. Gas, food, and other necessities and basic transportation has fluctuated drastically. IHSS providers deserve better than borderline poverty. Online databases state that $25.50 is a living wage for our county, and IHSS providers are being paid roughly 30% under this statistic. We as IHSS providers feel neglected, but we lean on each other and and offer support to one another in each other's time of need, so we can continue giving the vulnerable community what they deserve, passionate care from our hearts as if they're our own. I hope and pray that everyone on the Board of Supervisors reconsiders the fact that pennies don't make up for IHSS providers' blood, sweat, and tears we put into the community, but still struggle to afford essential needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Corey Croson. Corey Croson.
Good morning, board members. My name is Corey Croson, and I proudly serve for District 4 in Stanislaus County, which is, the District 4 is like 7 counties, and Stanislaus is one of the counties that I represent. For UDW Local 3930, a union that's 10,000 members strong here in District 4. One of the counties I represent, is Stanislaus, of course, and I stand here in solidarity with my union brothers and sisters. And I have been a provider since 2008, which I started taking care of my parents who could no longer take care of themselves. And since they passed, now I take care of people with disabilities in my community. For many of us, this work started with love. Love for a family member, a neighbor, or a community in need. But that love evolved into a calling, a career, a commitment to care. A fair path to wage increases means our providers can take care of themselves as they take care of others. It means we can invest in this critical workforce that supports the most vulnerable, our elderly and people with disabilities. It means that we can recruit and retain dedicated providers, reduce high turnover rates, and strengthen this essential system with care. No matter what county we come from, the work we do is essential. The work we do matters. The work we do saves lives. And today, I ask everyone here who supports our work and supports a fair wage to please stand in solidarity with us. Board members, I invite you to look closely at your budget. You'll see that investing in providers is not only possible, it's necessary. We are not just numbers. We are people, we are stories. We are the backbone of the care in this community. And so I leave this with you. Look at the people standing behind me. Well, they've sat now. But the ones that were standing, ask yourself, do I want to be part of the solution? Thank you so much and have a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you, Corey. Next up is Claudia Navarro. Claudia Navarro. Ron McMurtry?
He had to leave.
He had to leave, okay. Shane Anderson.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
How you guys doing today? Doing good, doing good? All right, all right. I'm beyond excited to be here today, standing in solidarity with our sisters and brother of the United Domestic Workers. I'm Shane Anderson. I'm the organizing director for the American Federation of State County Municipal Employees in Northern California. So you might know us as Local 10, but I want to let you know, UDW, Local 10, we're simpatico. We work together. And so, you know, our home healthcare workers work tirelessly every single day across the state, right here in Stanislaus County, and the work is often thankless, and they deserve so much more than what they're being paid. And so, yeah, here in Stanislaus County, you may know us as Local 10. We're standing together to demand that you all bargain in good faith with both Local 10 and UDW. And so we're standing in solidarity to ask you to do right by our members who are struggling, to come to the negotiations table and give all of our workers what they deserve. And it's not just me here standing with you today, it's our 10,167 members across the county. Those are voters right here in your district. Okay, thank you guys so much for your time. We're not going away until we get that fair contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Next up is Nicole Kraus.
Hello. I'm Nicole Kraus, and I would like to add to what these last two people, or three people, were talking about. When it comes to in-home support services, we have 6,000 providers in this county alone, and we're caring for, of course, the aging and seniors of this community and more. However, our population of seniors are like 20%, make up like 20% of the population in this county, and 26% roughly of that are actually qualified for in-home support services based on their income. And just wanted you guys to know that that's a lot of numbers. That's just a lot of people that we care for, and oftentimes the hours might be stretched out to where we're scheduled to work for 1 or 2 hours a day for that particular person. Then we're going to get in our car and go to another home and care for another person for another hour or two. And I was looking up some information, and it looks like if you're going to be doing private care, if somebody's getting paid it from a private, just privately, they usually have a minimum of 3 to 4 hours that they're working per client. And anyhow, I just wanted to give you guys that information, and I just wanted to just petition you guys to give us a little better wage. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Or a lot better wage.
Next up is Gabe Schreiber.
Good morning, Board. My name is Gabe Schreiber, and I appreciate you pronouncing my last name right. That doesn't always happen, so thank you. I am a political action rep with AFSCME International. We represent over 10,000 dues-paying members and retirees here in Stanislaus County. I have had the absolute privilege of getting to know our IHSS providers over the past few years. And as you get to know them, you start to realize, the work that they do is absolutely critical, right? Were it not for the folks sitting before you, the most vulnerable people in our society would have nobody to care for them. They provide dignity and quality of life for folks who really otherwise would not have it. And so I don't think that our members here are asking for the world. They do some of the most noble work that one can do. And they're asking for less than 1% of the county budget so that they can all have a living wage, right? Because if they can't support themselves, they can't support the folks that they take care of every day, who again are some of the most vulnerable folks in our society. And so the folks in this room do life-saving work, and I hope you all will take steps to invest in that work. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe. Okay, I'm going to revisit Claudia Navarro, Elizabeth Crivello, Mateo Ortiz.
Sure you can.
Yeah, come on up. It's a public comment. Those were the last cards I have, so if you want to speak.
I apologize. Thank you for not filling out the card.
No worries.
My name is Gregory Woods. We met on the 11th of last month. Manny is my representative. In the slight 5 minutes I'm allotted, if you'll give me 1 or 2 minutes to first say thank you. When I was here on the 11th, I spoke with, or the chairman, I believe, introduced me to Patrice, who works for the CEO's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct, yes.
She followed through promptly with a young lady who contacted me 2 days later, whose name is Veronica. Please convey to them my appreciation. I sent an email to Veronica yesterday relating to the topics we were discussing, which were grants. But I want to thank them for their promptness and follow-through. Please. When I was here a month ago, it was to complain. And I realized that it's not proper to meet someone and the first thing you do is to whine. So I did not. And then coming here today and hearing, for instance, the video of the drownings, it's the issue that I want to address is minor. You know, but I must, because I believe there is a better way. Before that, the people who left from the Opportunity Stanislaus office, I have worked with the Small Business Development Center when Curtis was running it. And I was there 2011, 2012, 2013. I'm an exporter-importer until I began to lose my vision, and then I've picked it up again. I've had a business license in the county. I bought a house here in the county. I'm a property. My family is currently still a property tax payer. I bought that house originally in 2001, right behind River Road and 9th Street. I say that because I'm not just some guy walking through the door who happens to be a minority. I represent no one other than myself. But I first wanted to at least say thank you to those institutions that have helped me in this county and state how ignorant I am of what's going on here, because it appears as if, in listening to the speakers, things are actually happening in my county that I'm ignorant of, and that's my fault. But thank you. The reason I came on the 11th was to complain about the community services building and facility. When I left my house that we own in June of last year and moved into an independent living facility on La Villa Rose Court, but 2 blocks behind Safeway, I realized that I was eligible to receive additional benefits, Medi-Cal and EBT. Even though I have Social Security, I have Kaiser, I realized and was told I have, by law, additional benefits, so I applied. Here's the problem. I get a letter from the State of California Health and Human Services County Administration Office here on Hackett that states that on my annual review that I was in your office 2 weeks ago to reapply for my annual reapplication for Medi-Cal with all of my information. The young lady at the office helped me fill out the form. I left. 2 weeks later, I get a letter saying I'm going to be disqualified because my Social Security number is not known. Excuse me, WTF? How can that be? So I'm blind. I go to the office the following Monday. I wait 2.5 hours. I finally call your office because I have been there long enough. Thank goodness that Patrick, your associate young man working at the office, good young man, answered the phone and followed through to get me, let me slow down, to get someone to assist me, because apparently they had called my number and I didn't hear it. I can't see the video screen where the numbers are being printed. I'm 72 years old. I'm down here because you claim you don't have my Social Security number. I'm telling you this story because it has to be stated. The young lady, when I finally went to the window, said, "Ma'am, how come my number hasn't been called?" "Oh, we call your number. We call your number 4 times. "What?" I said, "Ma'am, look, I'm sorry I didn't hear." "Oh, well, all you need to do," "Well, no, ma'am, I need to see somebody. Here's this letter. I'm going to be disqualified." Then I raised my voice. Not curse, but I raised my voice. Next thing I know, some SOB with a guard behind me. An hour later, a sister comes out. She's been there 16 years and says, "Anybody need help?" "Ma'am, I do." Finally, after 3 hours, she takes my Social Security card and makes a copy. Come on now, I've been here 3 hours. Here's my suggestion. When I was here on the 11th, by coincidence, it happened to be you all discussing the budget. I was lucky. I've lived here since '01, bought a house like I said. I had never come to meet you guys or whoever previously, never. I was ignorant, that's my fault. So I come here on the day of the budget, everybody's sitting here from the departments, and I hear that the budget is $1,900,000,000. What? Come to find out, you're the second largest employer in the county. Here's my question. In order to get back to the community service, here's my question. How many people are blind? Of the 4,905, how many of them are blind and are receiving federal and state money that's due them to keep them on the payroll? A tax credit that the feds and the state give to people who are blind or disabled. How many of the 4,905 people who are blind or on the payroll? You mean to tell me you can't get a blind person down here to community services to answer the phone? Because if you call that community service, they don't answer the phone. And you know that. And you know that. The reason you know it is because your staff members told me on the 11th, "Oh, they don't answer the phone." Really? Now that's a shame. So of the $1,900,000,000 budget, you mean to tell me I can fix that one problem for 1/1,000,000th of the budget?
Gregory, if we could wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Here is the solution. The option is someone has to be able to accommodate people who are blind at that facility. Someone has to answer the phone. The option, sir, and I can't see who even spoke to me. I can't even see.
Just right straight in front of you.
Okay. The option, sir, is a picket line out here in front with curse words on it, identifying the mess up because the people at the community services don't vote. So nobody cares that they gotta wait. Nobody cares if there's no one answering the phone. When I call your office, someone answers. Patrick answered. When I call 911, they'll answer. It's not fair, gentlemen. I can fix it with a small amount of money just like you can.
Gregory, we appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others like to make public comment? Come on.
Morning. My name is Patrick Clements. First of all, I'd like to invite everybody to my son's Spring Pop-Up Festival. It's for his program. It's a new program for autism, basically, and special needs in general. It's for 22 and up. It's brand new. It's on McHenry, and I expect, the people to show up to support. They would really appreciate it. And that's just part of it, because I just wanted to comment real quick. I'm an IHSS provider. I'm probably the newest one in here, and it's completely by accident and tragedy, right? I'm looking at you guys, we're probably all roughly around the same age, right? You know, I'm 57 years old, gonna be 58 this year. I have a daughter in college, and I have my special needs son. And I've lived in Stanislaus County since I was 9 years old. So I know what's up, and I've worked. And for the last like 21 years, I worked as a machinist, and I provided for my family, because, you know, when you have a special needs kid, everybody knows you're losing half your income. There's no way two people can work when you have that. So that's what we did. And 2 years ago, my wife died. Just on a Sunday afternoon, boom, died. So at that moment, I'm not sure if anybody can relate to this, but if you have no family or any people that can handle a special needs of that nature, you're on your own, right? So I have no more ability to work, which I had done for my whole time, roughly 12 hours a day to make this happen. So at that moment, you have nothing, right? So we all prepare. 401k's gone, savings gone, because you have to live day by day and you have no more income. Life insurance, sure, we got a little bit, but I don't know how anybody's lifestyle is, right? We have cars, we have payments, right? And so we just did what we can do. So, you know, you're living hand to mouth, just spending every dime you ever tried to save, trying to be responsible, just like I'm sure all of you have done. And I actually found this place by accident, right? It was complete accident, because what the hell are you gonna do? How can you go to work when you have to take care of someone full time? I get 6 hours a day that he's at this program, and it's a godsend, right? So how do you navigate 6 hours a day to make a living wage? You really can't, right? So they offered this program. So there's this misconception immediately, like, oh, dude, you're over. You get paid to stay at home, take care of your kid, right? Okay, I get allotted less than 3 hours a day through the county to take care of my son 24 hours a day, which I already did, right? And I don't think I'm getting over because I get a little money to take care of my kid. I never actually wanted that, right? But I just want you to think about that number, because I'm not going to do the math for you. You guys are the math experts here. You're the ones that control the budget. But I want you to understand that money, that's daily, right? So my son gets Social Security because he's disabled, and that's X amount of money, right? And I get that money per day. That's our income, and that's how I have to make things work for the month, right? So I'm sure all of you have a lot more than I do, but I'm sure that when you figure out that number for whatever Social Security would be, because we all know what that is, and then my number of what I get an hour for 3 hours a day, and then you're gonna try to sell me that we're getting over and we're doing well, because I took care of everything. My daughter's still in college, right? We're still making it happen, and I'm thankful for these people, for that 3 hours a day, to stop the swirl down the toilet, right? Because you know that didn't stop anything. It didn't. It just made things more bearable. So when I hear people that have no visualization of what the system is and how it helps people, maybe like yourselves, and you think that, well, in the budget, we really can't do this, right? Well, I don't know about budgets. I just know how it affects people and how it affected me. So I just wanted to thank my brothers and sisters for the support, and I just want you guys to really think about that when you're coming out here taking pictures with people for maybe political natures, so it makes you look good because they got an award, so you couldn't wait to get out here and take their picture, but you're not going to take a picture with the people that are probably taking care of maybe somebody's grandma, right? I think that's a hell of a lot more important. So I don't want to go off and on because I don't want to scare you guys away from this event, right? I want to see faces there, and I want to say somebody, hey, Patrick sent me to say hi to Hunter because Hunter's my son. So, you know, disabled people vote, the people there vote, everybody here votes, right? So I just want to bring this to your attention, man. This is real. Real for me. It's not about a budget. It's about me getting up tomorrow. I did it. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Patrick. Any others who would like to public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment and move to consent calendar. Before the board takes any action on the consent calendar, does anyone in the audience wish to provide public comment on any matter on the consent calendar? Any board member?
You know, I want to pull B7, please.
B7. Terry, do you want to just make a comment on it, or do you want to?
Yeah, just a real quick comment. We completed our negotiations and came to a good spot with our Stanislaus Sworn Deputies Association. And we had a lot of meetings where we had deputies here, and we very much appreciated their input. And as we all said all along, we will get to a spot that works for everybody, and we did. And I just wanted to kind of celebrate that. These things get buried in our consent calendars a lot of times, today, for example. But that was a work well done for all of our individuals who worked very hard to come to this happy spot. And I just want to thank the staff for doing that. I want to thank our deputies who participated in this, and I'm just very happy that we got to a spot that worked for everybody. Yeah, and we have another good contract with our sworn deputies.
The system and the process work.
It works.
It works. All right, bring it back to the board for a motion.
Move to approve items on consent.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. Moving on to correspondence, acknowledge receipt of claims and refer to the Office of County Counsel. Board of Supervisor reports.
I just have a quick report. We held our 22nd District 5 community cleanup in the community of Park Lawn in South Modesto. Thanks to the Park Lawn Community Foundation as well as several volunteers, we were able to fill 14 bins of debris and trash. And so I just want to thank everybody for their involvement in that and making it a very successful community cleanup.
14 bins.
14 bins.
Wow.
No one has had more success than you and your district doing cleanups. It's excellent job. Good model.
Thank you.
For sure. A couple things I want to report out. On the General Plan Update Committee, we had the truck parking ordinance that we're working on a subcommittee. Supervisor Withrow sits on the General Plan Update Committee, but not on the subcommittee. We're having 2 meetings in the community. The first one is tonight from 5 to 7 at Harvest Hall, which is 3800 Cornucopia Way. The ad hoc committee is tonight we're focusing on truck operators, so we're trying to have 2 separate meetings. And then the second meeting will be held tomorrow night from 5 to 7 at Harvest Hall. Again, same address, 3800 Cornucopia Way. And that's for the concerned residents in the ag area. So tonight at 7 o'clock and tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, tonight's for truckers. Then there's another event tomorrow. I'd like to invite the community out. There is an unveiling of a plaque for Pat Portwood, who was instrumental in the library system down at the Turlock Library, and it's on Minaret, the corner of Minaret and some other road. But the Turlock Library, I'm sorry, I don't have the actual address. That is happening tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. There'll be some refreshments following, and then there's a Friends of the Library meeting if you want to stick around. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the chairman, the CEO, our PIO/ledge person, Carissa Lucas. We just went to DC last week, kind of a really quick trip, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was interesting to say the least. We met with our delegation senators, our Congress folks, and then some department heads, our Department of Transportation, along with, I'm trying to think, National Science Foundation, and interesting times in the District of Columbia. I think we probably went a little too early, but I don't know that there's going to be any time that's going to be right in this year. A lot of uncertainty around what programs are going to be available. Not that there won't be programs, but everyone was just uncertain on what programs the rules might be changing, or there might be less money, or the requirements might change. But being there in front of your congressional folks is a must. I've said that for many years. It just was probably I say this, that's just my opinion, but a premature trip. when it's normally usually a really good time to go.
Thank you, Vito.
This past week, all 5 board members were present for the opening of the Dignity Village, 42-unit partnership that we did with the city of Modesto for homelessness residents. And I think that the credit is due to the county staff and the staff of city of Modesto to put this program, all together. So it was great seeing all 5 of us, or 4 of us.
4, yeah. I was at another meeting.
Yeah, you were there for a little bit. There to celebrate the success for our community.
That was the high point of the week, by the way. And 550 Minaret Avenue in Turlock is where the library is located. Thank you, Erica.
I'd like to just add on to what Vito was saying about our trip to DC. I kind of equate it to, and I've said it before, we're planting seeds to hopefully bring resources back to Stanislaus County. Sometimes it takes a while to see if that crop grows, but that's kind of what I equate it to. And reminder, this, I think it's on the 6th, LaGrange Rodeo is in town. And then the following weekend is rodeo weekend in Oakdale. So look on the computer, get your tickets. It's always a fun time, all week. All right, that's all I have. Legislative, fiscal, and management.
Okay, so you guys have already mentioned the DC trip. Thank you for covering that topic. I also want to recognize that we did submit some requests for congressionally directed funding on behalf of the county to Senators Padilla and Schiff. The projects that were submitted were the Colorado Rouse Infrastructure Project and the Del Porto Canyon Public Safety Communications Project. In addition to that, we have signed letters of support for SB 496 related to advanced clean fleets, as well as supporting Modesto appropriations requests for the Morris Village Low-Income Housing Project and the City-County Airport Lighting Improvement Project. That's all I have to report today.
All right. We're going to go ahead and adjourn. We do have closed session today, and we'll have council report on that.
Yes, we have 2 items to discuss today. The first is a conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, Subdivision D1. We have 1 case to consider there. Maria Ruiz Perez et al. Versus Oakdale Irrigation District and County of Stanislaus et al. That's in the Stanislaus County Superior Court, and the case number is CV 19004-901. The second item is a conference with legal counsel, significant exposure litigation, pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, Subdivision D2 or 3. We have 1 matter to consider. The facts and circumstances to be discussed are contained in a letter dated November 8, 2024, from the Sheriff to the Board of Supervisors, requesting the Board appoint conflict counsel regarding the Sheriff's disagreement with the Consolidated Emergency Dispatch Agency's selection of dispatch software. The Sheriff's letter is available from the Clerk of the Board. Appropriate for public comment.
Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and go into closed session.